Hey, everybody, let's talk about Nikon making a ton of money off of licensing. So, all of us here who are probably watching this are all Sony, Canon, Nikon, RED, Zcam, whoever it is, video users. In my case, I'm a Sony user because I happen to like their codecs. It works really good for me and it's quick and easy deliverables. And it's always a solid image that I can turn in anytime I want to. But there's a big but. These don't have what I really like, RAW. I take raw photos with this, but I can't do raw video with it. Even a light RAW would be nice. And with the acquisition of RED going over to Nikon, I think licensing is going to open up. Nikon's a bigger company, they have a bigger vision and have way more capabilities when it comes to licensing than RED does. RED just doesn't have a division to just basically take care of the licensing side of it. And if you look at licensing and look at the acquisition Nikon did, this is a cash cow in general. You're looking at the ability to go to Sony, Canon, which are the two top camera manufacturers in the prosumer and in the, well, we'd almost say pro level in these types of cameras because you're seeing a ton of footage that's pro footage on these cameras on an everyday market. They don't have RAW. Sony got to work around with it, and so did Canon. They put their RAW into an Atomos recorder. Atomos user right here. Love them to death. But what if you could do a light RAW in here and you had the licensing to do it? Think about it. FX users, especially FX users, would go crazy. We already have an all-eye codec. This is really, really nice. Sony would then have a reason to do the next level. That was the FX2 series of the 30s and the 3s and the 6 and the 9 and have a much better memory card for it because they have a reason to now. RAW. And being able to do like a light RAW or whatever it is would be really, really cool in these cameras. And then the money Nikon would make. Think about it. Nikon would make a ton of money just off licensing alone. Every camera manufacturer would not mind putting a little bit of licensing cost on every single camera. And let's just talk numbers here. How many cameras did Sony sell last year? I'm going to look it up on my phone here real quick. How many cameras did Sony sell last year? They delivered 1.8 million cameras. Think about that, 1.8 million cameras. If you put a $50 charge on each one of those, man, you're looking at almost $90 million in just licensing. The Nikon gets doing nothing. $90 million in licensing, $50 licensing fee on every one of these cameras. That's pretty much perpetual. So every 10 years, they're almost getting $1 billion just from Sony. Imagine all the other manufacturers. Let's just say they get $2 million a year at $50 a piece, and then they've got it over the next 10 years. That's $1 billion business just licensing some form of RAW. And it would take some work to take care of that. But if you're only paying $1 million a year to secure $90 million, you win. That's nothing but profit. That's nothing but R&D for free. That's nothing but reserves for free. And that's an area where I think Nikon's going to come through. I think Nikon will ultimately open the licensing to RAW and every form of it, from light RAW to heavy RAW, all RAW in general, which means these cameras here, this is an A7 IV. I have an FX30 also, and we work with C70s, and we RC 5Cs, R5s. I mean, we do use these all the time, and man, it would be super nice to have RAW just right out of it. And if that's the case, we're in a whole nother game, another ballpark in generals of what we're going to be doing with these cameras. And it would also change the industry for the indie industry. Every time I turn around, you got to have a RED, you got to have a Zcam, you got to have this. Quick interviews, stuff like that. You can run these with RAW. You're doing a short 15-minute movie? Oh, please. You can use just about any camera out there now. and now it's about getting the cinema lenses. The world is going to change on this. And I believe in every way, shape, and form, this deal with Nikon and RED in a year from now is going to be a huge licensing boom for all of us. Period, said and done. That's my thoughts. Let me know what you think. All right, peace. Bye now.